absolutely. My name is Sam Parker. I'm the field director for Equality North Carolina.
Yes.
Today on Public Radio,
yes,
our interim executive director, Alex Miller, on People and Politics, challenged you to a debate anywhere, anytime, any host, any setting, and wants to know how you'll respond to that challenge.
absolutely.
Great.
As a matter of fact, he was in my office yesterday for an hour and a half.
Yes, he was.
Did you know that?
I did, actually.
Okay. Let me finish.
Oh, I had a second part to my question.
I'm going to let you finish.
Okay, great.
Yesterday, I brought in the opposition to the marriage amendment. I brought in the leading law professor from UNC School of Law. I brought in Alex, the interim executive director of Equality North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
I brought in their lobbyist. I brought in the chairman of the board of that organization, and then a couple of people from my staff were there. And the reason is that as I've worked on legislation, regardless of whether you disagree with me or not, I want to make sure I have the right facts. When I hold something up and say, this doesn't affect private business, it doesn't affect people's ability for Bank of America to offer same-sex benefits to their folks, I want to make sure that I'm not just saying what somebody's telling me to say. I want to make sure I understand it. That's why I brought them in. The professor from UNC handed me a 40-page white paper for me to read.
Are you going to read it?
Yes.
I mean, tonight?
No.
Please don't.
But, I mean, some good issues. Fact is, I'm a former grease monkey with accounting background who went to work in the investment business, so I'm not a lawyer. So anyway, but I reached out to those folks yesterday to try to make sure that I have my questions answered, and I'll be glad to answer your second question.
Fantastic. I look forward to seeing you at that debate. My second question is, first of all, I think you would agree a lot changes in 15 years. So whoever voted in 1996 might have changed their policy since then. But not only that, for those of us who are of a younger generation, there wasn't even Facebook back then. But regardless of that, I don't think it makes you controversial that you believe that marriage is defined as between one man and one woman. I think what makes you controversial is that you completely ignore the business harm in your statements by equating the amendment to the 1996 law, which is erroneous. In the sense that only the amendment jeopardizes businesses' abilities to provide domestic partner benefits. Only the amendment strips public employees of their domestic partnership benefits.
That's incorrect.
It's true. Not only that,
Well, you say it's true, and I say it's incorrect.
Well, we have a different sense of
Well, I'm going to
truth.
back mine up with facts.
But I do as well. In fact, the truth document which you received, all the legislators at the North Carolina General Assembly received a truth document with pointed polls that support all of this data. Whether or not you choose to believe it, polls and statistics, and you have it in that document, and you received it, and I've received confirmation that you have.
Finish your question, then I'll answer.
My question is, my other thing is only this amendment creates and will create a divisive, discriminatory 14th month ballot campaign. We know how ugly they can get. You've been comparing other states for this entire meeting. We know how ugly the LGBT community and otherwise. These ballot campaigns are bad for LGBT youth and straight youth. Okay. It's divisive for our kids. We want to protect them. And I guess my question is that for somebody who supports jobs, who supports education, and also supports managing our youth in a way to bring creativity and use our brains in the state, why you would support this bill?
Well, the reason I support it is because I told people I would support it when I ran for this office 6 years ago against 7 people in a primary, 2 people in a runoff, and 2 people in the general. Now, let me try to peel away everything you said.
Fantastic.
Okay. Number one, I don't think people who hire you really care about the poll. I think they care about what you told them you were going to do when they hired you. And if you have a reason why you're not going to do that, you owe them the responsibility of coming back and saying why. Secondly, you can't have it both ways. Because the fact is that Joe Hackney voted for this in '96. Let's just forget about that for a moment. But Joe Hackney was the traffic cop. He was the Speaker of the House. I can't tell you how powerful the Speaker of the House is. He controls everything. And where's the legislation under 10 years of control, 13 years of control, where his party controlled the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion, where is the legislation to repeal the bill that he supported called No Same-Sex Marriage? You know where it is? It's right here. It doesn't exist. Never filed the bill, never tried to repeal it. You can't have it both ways. You can't come out and say, I believe in marriage between a man and a woman, I voted that way, and then when you're the traffic cop, you do not do anything to repeal it. People, whether you like my tone or like me or like my party, people need to embrace who they are. And if he really felt that way for all those years as the most powerful person in North Carolina, let me tell you how powerful it is. When the governor and the lieutenant governor get killed, I think it's the Speaker of the House who's the governor, third in succession. Nothing was done to repeal this law. Secondly, on your issue about going through 14 months of controversy about defining marriage, do you not think the people in North Carolina have the right to vote on whether that belongs in their Constitution? Secondly, I challenge you. Why can't we have a stand down? Why can't all sides of all persuasions who believe differently on this subject agree we're not going to spend any money beating each other up over the next 14 months. We're just going to let the people decide, because most people already know how they feel about this, one way or the other. And secondly, I'm going to live with whatever the voters decide.